What's up, everybody? Back up here in the frozen tundra of North Dakota again. Like, even the cats get all furry, it's so cold. That cat used to be all thin, now it's all puffy. Same with the other Sylvester, and there's more Sylvesters around here, but yeah, flew up here to drive home a Charger. Not this one. I just came to check on it. It hasn't restored itself yet. I think it's getting worse. Yeah, I keep hoping a little bit of Christine will come out and just kind of like poof, fix itself, but no. Nope. Instead, I am up here to, I've always wanted a certain car, you know, it's an old TV show car. Probably you guys already know where I'm going with this. A friend of mine, Mike, bought one, and now I'm getting it from him, but it needs a little bit of work to make it roadworthy. So, dun 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 dun! Here it be. 69 Charger, cloned as a General Lee. Needs a little bit of work before I can jump in the sucker and drive it back to Vegas. But let's see what we got going on right now. Actually, the only thing I've really done to this thing so far is I pulled it out of the Quonset with a bunch of other really badass Mopars, but nobody really needs to see those. Those are his. Anyway, drove it in here with a flat tire. Thought it had a sure grip, which it does, but the sure grip is completely toast. And this thing's got a 411 gear in it, and I am not driving a 411 gear all the way back to Vegas from North Dakota. So it's 1,550 miles from Mike's house to my house. Yeah, I'm not doing that with a 411. Look how thick that green gear is. Plus the sure grip is toast. One tire was flat, came off the bead, and it wouldn't even spin the other tire. So I've got a donor gear that I bought from Byron up here in North Dakota. I'm sure you Mopar guys have heard of Byron before. He's a big Mopar dealer. Putting a 276 gear in this sucker so I can drive it back to Vegas. And then when I pull the drums off, I found that they're shot. Actually, the springs one of the springs fell out of it, so need to get those turned. Need to put new rear brakes on it. The rear end housing was just full of really fine medical particles. I mean, that clutch and that third member is junk. Anyway, let's talk about the car. This was just a 318 green Charger. This was a nothing special car. So it didn't hurt the value whatsoever turning this thing into a General Lee. I know some of you guys are like, oh, not another General Lee, but I don't give a shit. This is my General Lee. So I don't have one, so this is mine. I don't care. Got a list here. I'm not trying to copy Roadkill. I know Roadkill uses cardboard, but literally that's the only thing I have in here. Found a Sharpie and it's cardboard, so that's probably where Roadkill got this from. But yeah, I got a couple things I got to do. The vacuum caps are all rotten on this thing. The starter is junk. Like, it just barely started earlier. So I got to pull the starter off, but lucky for me, there's no way in hell I'm getting that starter out without pulling the header off, so that sucks. So I gotta pull the header off, but in order to pull the header off, I'm probably gonna have to drop the drag link, and yeah, I don't know what else, but I'm hoping I don't have to pull the torsion bar. I'll find out here in a minute. But yeah, I gotta pull the header, change the starter, rear brakes, put the 276 gear in it. What else I got here? Change the oil, gaskets. Oh, it's got a Pertronix ignition system in it, and I'm just not really trusting that, because if it fails, I'm kind of screwed. It's not like I can just fix it with regular store parts or regular like car part store stuff. So I'm going to. I hit up Troy at RT Garage in Minnesota. Told him I need a Revinator shipped here like now. Trans fluid. I need to check on the front brakes and check the bearings. Make sure it's all greased up. Overall, the car's not too bad. Yeah, it's got black interior, but I can change that later. I got to get rid of the steering wheel. I can't stand these steering wheels. Plus, it's tiny. It's like a go-kart. Man, that's a lot of play in the steering wheel. Oh well. So, yeah, it's got black interior. You know, everything. It's just kind of backyard woods, redneck built, but screw it, it's fun. You'll like this custom trunk pan work. So when I get it back to Vegas, I need to fix this. Look, I can stick my hand in between the trunk pan and the frame rails. Somebody put a trunk pan in this thing, and they did such an awesome job that there's extra storage space inside the frame rails underneath the trunk pan. So I don't really want that factory option, so I'm going to change that. I'm going to fix that, because believe it or not, the trunk pan is actually structured for the rear rails. You take a C channel, okay, it's kind of flimsy, it can twist. Now you box in that C channel, which is what the trunk pan does. It boxes in the frame rails, and now you've got a completely boxed in frame rail. So without that, it's flimsy. So I need to fix that. So I can't jump it until I fix that. Let's see, what else we got? They put the battery in the back with this custom wood block and like these anchor bolts holding it down. Totally badassness. See, the paint job is like a good 20-footer. It's not too bad from 20 feet away. I need to throw some rust sealer shit on this hood, on the bottom side anyway. Grill's not too bad. I don't even know what the valence looks like. Valence ain't too bad. It's already got an oil cooler. Now, the motor, I have no freaking idea. But it sounds pretty peppy. It's got a cam in it. It's obviously got an intake on it. It's got headers on it. So maybe it makes 400 horse. It's a 383. I don't even know what year 383 this is. I'll have to look at that ID pad here in a little bit. But, oh, and it's got an aftermarket balancer on it. So I'm hoping maybe it's got some, you know, some Gucci shit inside the motor, maybe some forged pistons and whatnot. So that I don't know, but I'm hoping. Manual brakes. Was an AC car, but they have a heater box in it, but it's not hooked up. And I'm not going to drive 1,500 miles in the Arctic tundra without a freaking heater, so I got to fix that. And if that heater box doesn't work, when I was at Byron's, I also bought another heater box. So I need to write down heater box on there. I don't know how I almost forgot that. It's a little warmer this time than it was when I drove the 69 RT back. Let's see, what else? What else is neat about this thing? Oh yeah, it's got these fugly wheels and tires on it that are, when the wheels are spinning, they still look like a vector, but these are not vectors. So, knowing that those are the wrong wheels and tires and it's kind of hideous, I already ordered the correct vectors and new tires that I can that are being shipped here. So hopefully those show up in time. Mount them up, put them on here, and I got to cut the rear studs down because they did drag race this thing, so it's got long studs on it on the axles. I need to cut those down just so my wheel nuts will fit. I'm just holding a GoPro, so it's probably all like shaky and moving around, but this is the best I get. It takes too long to set up all that film stuff and do all this editing, so I'm just gonna like hack this together. And it does have the horn, so the horn does work. I'm really looking forward to picking up my fiance in this from her work right up front, blaring the horn, revving up the motor, and just hollering at her. Come on, baby! I want to embarrass the shit out of her. So, yes, and it does have the flag. You cannot have a General Lee without the flag. Well, I better do less blabbing and more working, so I'm gonna get on my donor gear, 276. So I need to clean this sucker up a little bit. It is pretty freaking dirty. Oh, that sucks. Does it spin? Yeah, it spins. Well, let me get this thing all cleaned up. Alright. 5 cans of brake cleaner later, I think we're all good. Alright. So I think the inside of the thing is good enough. I can just slap it in there. I need to clean the gasket surface up, clean the gasket surface on the... oh, actually I need to clean the housing out. Damn it, I don't have any rags. Shit, I gotta go to the parts store. Well, off to the parts store. Well, time to go get some parts. Come on. Well, parts store didn't have any gaskets, so just have to silicone it. Try and get rid of some of these burrs down here. I didn't realize the burrs were so big until I started putting silicone down. So that's like half the silicone's done. Ugh. Come on. People jamming screwdrivers in here to pry the third members out. Oh yeah, it's nice and goobered now. Alright, now I can put the gear in. Actually, I'll let that tack up for a few minutes. Make sure you got an even bead on here. I only want to do this once. So let me put an extra thick bead there. Screw it. Alright. I made enough mess now. Now I'm just playing with it. Alright, here we go. I gotta pull the freaking header out now. We gotta change the starter. Starter is super weak. When the engine's up to temperature, starter won't even turn the motor over anymore. When it's cold, it'll kind of turn it over. Just enough to every once in a while fire it up. So, you can get this thing yanked out, or the header pulled out. Man, I'd like to change that pan, the oil pan too, because the camera's probably sitting sideways because I'm sitting sideways, but it's got one of them stupid smash pans. The reason I say smash pans because that's all you'll do with those things is smash the shit out of them. Freaking hang below the cross member like 3 inches. So there won't be any off-roading until I can get that junk off there. I'm getting to record stuff for you guys. But I had to pull the lower radiator hose just so I can pull the header off, because this, when it has headers on it, it has bolts on it, and those bolts go through the water jackets, so if I pull the bolts out, it'll start pissing fluid everywhere, or coolant everywhere, so I had to drain some of the coolant out. Let me tighten up this hose real quick and I can get back to taking that header off. Alright, back to the header. Pull the bolts out, drop this freaking header. Oh wait, let me pull the spark plugs out first. So, let me go ahead and yank the spark plugs out. I gotta go digging for the ooh, that's what I need. Is that right there? These are all like sockets and ratchet sets and miscellaneous tools that he's pulled from junk vehicles. And he's got what I need. Bingo. Alright. And then go back to it's cold in here. Look at this. See what I see? Another General Lee. That's a Hemi car though. Stock it with the hex on the end of it so I can get in here. Alright, come on. Ah, so much easier. Make it move again. Alright, this will go by a lot faster now. When doing spark plugs, you only need one tool. Or 2 tools. One with the hex, with socket with a hex on it, and a wrench. Yeah, it works so much better. Well, let me finish getting these out. I think on the list is plugs. Those look like shit. Alright, time to throw the gear in. Keep rolling, 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 rolling. Rolling, rolling. Come on, get in there. Oh, why this bitch is so heavy? Alright. Oh, here we go. Holy shit. Oh. Oh, you mother. The silicone won't seal if that's leaking. Let that dry out for a second. Ugh. That's just brake cleaner that's dripping down. There's still ice falling out of this car. Back in bolts or nuts. I'll get it right eventually. Alright. Now this gear that I'm putting in right now, it's just temporary. I just want to put a 276 in here just so I can drive back. Because like I said, it's got a 411. It had a 411 in it. One thing I did find out about the transmission, it's a manual valve body. Supposed to shift kit, stall converter. So that's pretty nice. That'll do better burnouts. Alright. Finish getting these suckers on here. Alright, like I said, gotta leave the top one out because that's all cross-threaded up. I gotta throw a die on that. Ooh. Now, here's the problem. This is a 742 case, so it has, pretty sure it has the small yoke on it. So I don't think, dang it. We gotta take this off just to get the drive shaft down. Let's see. Yeah, I think it's got the big yoke on it. So that's what, 3 5/8. Let's see what the yoke, stupid snow. Yep, 3 1/8. So I gotta swap the yoke on, or swap the universal on this thing. Ooh, that thing's junk anyway. So yeah, I'll be swapping that out. Alrighty, well, I gotta pull that off. Alright, pull the drive shaft out of this thing. It went. I was worried if I was gonna be able to pull it out or not because it's got drive shaft loop in it. Because it's race car. Alright, I have here the conversion universal to do this. Supposedly, anyway. It's supposed to go from the big to small. So this should be the big end on the drive shaft. Oh wait. Yeah, that's the big one. Yeah. So let's see if this fits. Ooh, that's all wet. Let me get got the bolts out. Trying to drop the header down. See. Well, I could tell by braille they ain't ported heads, so they ain't that wazoo of a motor. Yeah, it's not a undercut valve, not a ported head, so that's by braille. See, where's my little, oh, there it is. Here we go again, all the way from the start. Let's see if I can drop this guy down. What am I caught on? Cable out of there. There we go. What am I getting caught on? Besides everything. Well, the starter for one I'm gonna get caught on. Let's see if I can wiggle the starter. Yeah, I should be able to wiggle that starter out now. Let me go ahead and pull that sucker out of there. I think by pulling the valve cover, I might be able to get this thing out of here. Well, that didn't really do me any good. pull the damn steering column. Oh well. Yeah, at least I get to see what heads are on this thing. So these are... What heads are these? Can't see the number. Three... Or no. 6, 4, that's not right. Alright. Well, anyways. I'm gonna pull the damn steering column. Crap. Alright. Steering column's all unbolted. So I got this conglomeration of extensions with a punch. So I can knock out the pin. So I can pull the steering column back far enough. That way I can get it out. That's moving now. You like my cute little hammer I have here? Hey, it's doing the job. Ugh. There goes the pin. Pull that steering column back a little bit. I just need to get the steering column out of the way. Only so I can pull that freaking header off. Let's see what we got down here. I don't want to lose that pin. Jesus. Oh, what the hell? Oh, you gotta be kidding me. I gotta pull the damn torsion bar too. I was hoping I could wiggle it just enough to get that damn steering column out. Or, oh, the steering column was gonna give me just that little bit, but it ain't. Shit. Alright, well, now I gotta pull the damn torsion bar. Part of pulling the torsion bar is you gotta relieve all the tension off of the adjuster bolt. Well, I get that rubber mallet, hit that torsion bar, and they're not rubber, but see if I can't free it up a little bit. One good thing about being all oily and shit under here is torsion bar might be loose. See if I can't clamp it and smack it. Ugh. Aha! Sweet. These aren't your regular size headers. These things are freaking huge. They're like 2-inch primaries. All right. Yeah, it's out. Fucking A. Man, look at this greasy mess. The reason it's so freaking greasy under here is the damn dipstick tube is loose. I can pull the sucker out. So I need to put that thing in there a little better. I'd say those gaskets were no good. They definitely ain't no good now. Alright, well, then pull that starter out, clean this gasket up, and hit the road. I wish it was only this simple. I still got a lot to do. Alright, got the new mini starter. Wherever the hell I put it. Oh, there it is. Ugh. So now, we can put this guy on. got the starter hooked up. Let's see if this thing's actually gonna work. Disable the ignition because I have the header off of it. Yeah, turns over a lot better now. Sweet. Well, I'm trying to pull the heater box out of this thing right now because I want heat on the way home. I don't want to freeze my ass off. So I'm getting hung up on something though. I think. There it goes. Let me see what's getting hung on up over there. Well, let me just work on getting this thing out of here and I'll get back to you guys. Working on the header gasket right now using these awesomely crappy perforated steel ones with paper backing. So, but it's all I got, so we're going to use it. We'll try and glue them on, at least one side. Try to get this thing to where it's not bent. Someone's already done some customizing to these headers. Beat the shit out of them. Yeah, whatever you got to do to clear whatever you need. Imagine that was for the starter, because that's about where the starter's at. Well, I throw some silicone on these guys. Get this thing up in there now. You're probably wondering where Mike is at, a buddy that actually lives here. He's actually working. So, dang it. One thing I didn't want to do was mess up my silicone. That was the first damn thing I did. Oh, it's alright. That ain't gonna hurt none. Smear it a little more. There we go. Redo. Take two. At least I don't have to worry about scratching these headers. These things are fucked. Alright. Dang it, like 50th time I've done that. Okay. Let's see if I can land this. Come on. Where's that back hole? There it goes. Now just finishing up the last bolt on the collector right now. Sucker, come off there. Let me double check. Alright, exhaust is back on. Now I need to hook up the wires to the starter. So I'm not going to need these anymore. I'm going to put this stuff away. Sweet. I'm moving forward now. Man, I'd love to go driving this thing through some ditches, but with that stupid oil pan, I can't. I gotta wait till I get home to change the oil pan. And then there's no ditches there. Well, put stuff away. Back to work on this old girl. Well, for you guys anyway, you can watch. Let's see, what have I done since the camera died? The camera died on me, so that's why I moved on. Okay, I put new plugs in it. I fixed the wires because the wires was all kind of ugly looking, so rerouted the wires. Things I need to do right now, I need to change the ground cable. They had this mounted to the freaking header bolt, which I guess that's okay. I guess I can put that back on there for now, and I can change that when I get back to Vegas. So yeah, I'll just leave that alone. I need to mount this because it's in there loosely and it was leaking oil. So I need to make some kind of bracket or something that'll hold it in place, and then silicone down at the bottom. Let's see. Oh yeah, I need to put a heater core in that, and I need to swap the drive shaft over. So, or not drive shaft, I need to swap this universal for the other one. We thought maybe we could use this drive shaft here, which already has this small joint on it that I need, but then it's got the small input on it, so it kind of defeats the purpose. So we're just gonna go ahead and swap that one. Let me get stuff ready to push it out. Alright, so that's out. Yes, these should be pressed on, but the vise isn't working very well. Yep, that one's already flush. This one's not. Push it through the other way a little bit. A little more. Let's see. My clip's good. Alright, let me put my clips on. Nope. Stupid drive shaft loop. I could have sworn it went in. Okay, there we go. Now I figured it out now. Alright. Get your ass in there. Alright. Oh yeah, I gotta clean that thing real quick. It's all full of crap in there. Oh, this just keeps getting longer on stuff through this thing every single time. You need to make a wire tie hold down for the dipstick tube. That way, but we're doing a special ghetto. Alright, that should work. Now, for safety, we just cut down this little extra bit right here. There you go. We're OSHA approved now. So then that's going to pull down. Put some more silicone on here. I was just going to weld a bracket on this thing, but the welder's gone. Mike used to have a welder in here. And it's gone. Okay. Slide this down in there. So you gotta pay extra for this kind of work. Alright. Where's the hole? There it is. Found it. Okay. And go underneath. There you go. It's custom now. Ain't going nowhere. just to make sure it don't go anywhere. Let me tighten that. There we go. Now it can't come off there. Alright, now I don't have to worry about the dipstick tube blowing out. Alright, yeah, we're good. Now where's my dipstick? There it is. Yeah, that's clean enough. I'm changing the oil on this thing anyway. Oh yeah, genius-ish. So now that's tight. Get this stuff out the way. Well, I need a heater core. I know where one's at. So I'm just gonna borrow it from Mike. And by borrow, I mean don't anybody tell him. See, under the area right there. I think it's in here. Ah. Bingo. Ooh, there's a wall there. Let's see. Sweet. Look, there's Pokey. There's my 70 burnt orange interior. Almost can call it a survivor car, except it's not running and driving right now, but this car is like it's super solid. I mean, it's damn near as close to a survivor car as you can get, because it's all there, numbers matching. It has cruise control, power windows, power steering, power disc brakes. It has 6-way seat, wood grain wheel, FM radio, rear defrost. It's back there. So door shut. Oh, factory luggage rack car. Lots of cool stuff on this thing, but I'll talk later about that car. Back to work. The tires showed up. So went to town real quick, which is 10 miles away. Got there as they were closing, and he decided to stay open late just to help me mount these tires, which is all awesome and everything. But the problem I'm having is these wheels don't sit flat on these drums. If you can see that cap, how it's moving around like that, that's supposed to be solid and not basically bouncing around loose like that. Problem is, pull this off real quick, I'll show you. This outer diameter of the flat base here that mounts up against the drum is bigger than what this drum allows. You can see that this has like a chamfered edge on it, and the wheel doesn't actually sit in there to the flat surface. It rides just on that little edge. So what I have to do is I'm gonna have to chamfer this outer edge, which is no big deal. It's not gonna hurt anything. Plus, if you look at the bolt pattern of the which is no big deal, and I'll show you because I've already done it to this one. So this one's sitting perfectly flat. See how this cap is on there nice and tight? That's because the wheel is sitting flat, so it's actually compressing the cap to the wheel. Nice and straight. They're all balanced and ready to go. So I'm just gonna go ahead and 45 that real quick. There you go, perfectly torqued. That stud there is kind of hurting a little bit, but you know what? It's on there. Now I can put the rears on, but there's another problem with the rears. It's got long ass freaking studs, so I gotta cut these suckers down. Next is that. Well, getting a lot of things knocked off this list here. See, all we got left is the heater, and hopefully the revinator shows up, but kind of thinking I need to rebuild the front suspension a little bit. We'll see. That, I need to get rid of these stupid things here. Somebody has, which these are okay, like there's a one-way check valve down at the collector of the header, in which these will actually pull a vacuum and suck the crankcase pressure out of the motor. But when you have a full exhaust system behind it, it pressurizes the engine. Like, I'm pretty sure if you look at this intake plenum, it's pushed up. This is a little sheet metal plenum here. It's supposed to have a little valley under the intake. What looks like might have happened is the crankcase got filled up with so much pressure that it actually pushed this valley pan up. So, yeah, these suckers got to go. Just gonna put regular filters on here, or just tie these. I'll drill a hole and put them in the bottom of the air cleaner. So at least that way, the engine will recycle the combustibles, or not combustibles, or just the crankcase pressure. Well, right now I am getting the heater box going. So we got a brand new heater core that we just borrowed from Mike. So just gotta finish this up, assemble this whole thing. I don't have a gasket kit for it, so we're just gonna silicone this sucker. I did go to a little hardware store that I have here and get some of this little door weather strip, so I used this to put the heater core in. Yeah, nothing too exciting about assembling this thing, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do this real quick and get it in the freaking car. Oh, then other than that, I think it's test drive time. Okay, you missed a little bit, but the GoPro died. Let's see, where did I leave off at? I don't know, can't remember. Anyways, I got the heater box in. I went and stole some nuts off of another charger I have in my out in the bushes. So I got the firewall nuts on there to hold the heater box in, the new heater core's in. Got my lines on. Let's see, I just hooked up the electrical, and luckily the electrical worked. So the only thing I'm doing right now is, I don't know how much of this you're gonna be able to see inside of here, but there is, let's see this valve right here. That's the blend door. So I need to get that to where it stays in a fixed position, to where it kind of blends both the glass and the floor. So I am making a little, oh, here we go. Put a little pigtail on that. I don't know if you can see this, but put a little pigtail on that. I'm going to loop that over that arm, and then I'll wire tie it to somewhere so it'll hold that blend door where I need it to hold it. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. All I did was just eliminate those down there, the check valves, and then run the hoses to the bottom of the air cleaner. So now both hoses go up into the air cleaner, which I just drilled out with a unibit. So really, there's not a whole lot left on this thing. The only thing I might do is rebuild the front suspension, because at like 90 miles an hour, it's kind of sketchy. Let's see. The list just keeps getting longer. And then people keep adding things. And Mike really wants me to get his dart running. So, yeah. I'm going to order the bushings and stuff, and if they show up, I'll go ahead and slam the bushings out. If they don't show up in time, then it ain't getting done. Front end's sitting high right now because I just set the car down. You have to roll the car back and forth to get it to sit level again. Let's see. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So, it's test drive time. Time to go to the bar. See you guys. Bolt in my hand. No, I didn't break. I actually just cut it. You see the cut line. After the test drive last night, it wanted to pull the left pretty bad, to where like if I got drowsy or something on the drive back, this thing would just dart off into the left lane. So brought it back, jacked it up, just adjusted the upper controller a little bit, just on the right front, just take a little bit of caster out of it. because after looking at both sides, the left front was pretty much almost maxed out on caster, so I'm like, well, for some reason the right front has too much. So just took a little bit out of the right front, but then after you do that, you need to readjust the toe. So I couldn't get the toe adjusted because this bolt was just locked up. So just had to cut it off. And then I found the tie rods bent on the right front. So I ordered new control arm bushings, new tie rods, new idler arm, because this thing is just clapped out. And while I'm down here, I need to adjust the drums, because you hit the brakes, you don't know which way this thing's gonna go. It's like, oh shit. Especially if you're trying to do a hard stop. So I'm gonna try and adjust the toe real quick. How I did that was a toolbox. I just throw a toolbox up against the tire, draw 2 lines on the ground. Same thing on the other side, and throw a tape measure the difference between the two. And after adjusting the caster, I had a 1/4 inch of toe out, which is too much. For circle track racing, it's within the ballpark, but for regular driving on the street, it's too much. I've done everything I need to do here in North Dakota, so I'm gonna go ahead and head on home. I'm gonna take the southern route though, so it's a little warmer, because Casper, Wyoming is supposed to be getting some snow, I think tomorrow. So I'm just gonna go straight south and then go west. So I'll probably run down Kansas City, maybe swing by St. Jed and Dan, and then Jedediah Scott, and then yeah, get my ass back home. I got shits to do. I'm way behind. So yeah, all packed up, ready to go. All right, well, time to hit it and get it. Well, shit, I'm broke down. Sucks. Stopped at the gas station, everything's honky-dory, everything was fine. Went to start it back up, clunk, clunk, clunk. What the fuck? So, either the motor's locked up or the starter took a shit. I already tried beating on the starter, it didn't do nothing. So, I got it jacked up in the air right now. I checked the oil. Oil's fine, and I've been watching the oil pressure gauge. Everything's been fine. So somebody help me push it over here. But yeah, let me see if I can see. Where's my light? Ugh. Let go, dang it. There you go. Alright. Got my light. Let me grab my screwdriver here. You know what, let me just go ahead and put this thing on real quick so you guys can see what I'm seeing. See if I can. Hopefully this. Oh yeah, this should do it. It's loose. Hopefully that ain't too hard to fix. No. Let me grab that. Get that wrench again so I can get this guy out of there. Or maybe I can just tighten it up. The only thing is I think it fucked that bolt up getting caught on the block like that.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, let me try rotating the crank a little bit. Ugh. I've been beating the shit out of this thing for a couple 100 miles, so I'm bound to fail eventually.
Where are you coming from?
Cooperstown, North Dakota.
Oh yeah, you're away from home.
Yeah. Well, the bolt is straight. Wonder if I can just tighten it up. Oh. Let me just see if that fixes the lockup on it. This sucker was locked up. Well, that fixes that. Everywhere we go, pictures, everything. Well, I found the problem, pulled the bolt out, and it starts. So at least it's able to see, look. So that was the problem, is that one of the freaking bolts on the flex plate backed out. And while I never heard it going ching 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 on the motor though. I never heard, actually, you know what? I take that back, I lied. I did hear something. I heard a ching 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 for a split second, and I was like, what the fuck was that? But then the blower motor on this thing had been making noise, and so I thought maybe it was just the blower motor. Well, it wasn't. So let me go ahead and try and finish fixing this thing. Put my camera on my head so you guys can kind of see what I'm seeing. I think we're just gonna have to wing it with 3 bolts. Oh, you bastard. No way in hell I'm gonna get that in there. Of course, the right size wrench I need, I left on the freaking bench. Ooh, that freaking bolt's loose too. Ow, mother. All these freaking flex plate bolts is loose. we're at. It's freaking cold too. Here's the one that... Oh shit, there's no fucking threads in the thing. Wait a second. Yeah, the threads is all ripped out of that one. Shit. Well, no point in putting that thing back in because it's all the threads is ripped out of it. See that? Alright, well, let me just rotate this a little bit. Or try to anyway. Fucking hands are frozen. Can't even feel the tools anymore. Make sure this one's tight. Oh man, that was a long night. Drove from Sioux Falls all the way to Ottawa, Kansas. Getting ready to pull into Jedediah Scott's place right now. I'm tired. Did the whole thing at like 55 to 60 miles an hour because I wanted to baby it because I know the motor's unbalanced right now because the bolt's out of the flex plate. Ugh. Maybe I'll get an hour of sleep. Alrighty. See ya.
I guess he delivered a General Lee to me. How you doing there, buddy?
Oh, hey, what's up?
So you just fucking crashed at someone's house? Is that how you're gonna do it? The fuck, man? It's like 10 o'clock.
I messaged you last night.
At what time? What the fuck?
I don't know. Late?
Yeah, apparently. You guys ever have that happen to you? Just one of your buddies from across the country just fucking pass out in your drive without telling you?
Well, I had motor problems and I knew you had like a welder. I had an idea to fix it, so I figured you'd be good with it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you gotta be careful around the cops. What? You can't beat a good Kansas day for a cruise out in the General.
It is pretty nice, huh?
Yeah.
Look at this, I'm so good at shifting you won't even notice.
I know.
Clutch pedal, right?
It's fucking smooth, dude. Oh god, you're bombarding me with trash. I don't see how I get any better. I guess
Fixed it with fire.
fixed it with fire. Look, metal hot glue gun.
Smelting metal.
Yeah, smelting metal. We just had to make a pit stop because you can't make a good road trip if you don't have McDonald's in your system. How do you get more all-American than that? Well, I guess it's time to hit the road.
See those big diesel mufflers on that damn thing?
I actually was just eyeballing that.
I think you stick the jack back under it and wedge it up.
That's true. How cool can you be? You leave McDonald's and get in your General Lee. All right. I'll see you guys on the highway. So here's your proof of concept. We're driving, it's smooth. You can't tell, but look at the wire, it's just barely moving. They're gone. Passing semis again. How does that feel to be passing people?
A lot better than getting passed by everyone else doing 55.
Yeah. It probably sucked getting passed by a Prius and a badass General Lee.
They're just lucky I don't open this thing up.
It's true. Better keep her tame, man.
I don't have the wing on top of microflying.
Oh yeah, it's true. Damn. I think I saw Roscoe back there though. Chris, you gonna show us how to fix your muffler?
Yeah. Crammed under their goods like this.
Yeah.
And then you jack the whole car up by it.
There we go. Look at that. It's perfect.
And we just keep going.
Yeah.
Now if I can only get it to stay like that. Maybe if I tighten those clamps.
Maybe.
Yeah, that might work. This is a 9/16 socket.
Probably. Oh, go get some power tools. What are you finding up here, Chris? Ooh.
Snagging all the wing cars.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. You come here for potential car parts, and now you're just gonna buy a bunch of toys.
Yeah,
Well, we never grow up.
That's
the
true.
charger box is gonna be the red one.
Huh?
The red one.
That right there?
No, the red box.
Oh.
There's a bunch of charger parts in there.
Okay.
And probably the box next to it has some, not much.
It's always fun finding stashes of shit.
What's that? I got the car all on.
Oh, we've been getting a few of those. There they come again. That was the second time they filmed you? Yeah. Damn.
Yeah, almost in New Mexico now. Oh, lots of nothing. Look at all those suckers on the boring path. This one's more fun. Everybody on the side of the highway is always honking their horn or giving thumbs up. This car gets the most attention of anything I have ever driven. Pretty cool here. Sweet. An old Rambler wagon. An old DeSoto. Sweet. Perfect. I don't think the gas pump's gonna work here though. You like it? Yeah, I'll get it for you. Alright, you guys have a good night.
Yeah, you too.
I'm serious. The car has never got so much attention of anything. I think I've helped, just at this one gas station, I've helped 5 people take pictures so they can stand next to it. Lots of coffee makes me go 10-100. Some of you guys don't know what that is. Maybe a little bit closer though. No, there you go. No, you're back on the road. Tired. The only good thing about seeing Las Vegas ahead of me is knowing my bed is down in there. Made it. Well, I can't say I made it yet, but I'm in town. That's a lot closer. Like 2 in the morning. Yeah, 2 in the morning, so the traffic shouldn't be bad at all on the strip. So I'll go ahead and cruise the General down the strip. And then I'm going straight to bed. 'Cause I'm tired.